A ceasefire was announced. The world celebrated. And then within hours, everything started falling apart. On April 8, 2026, Pakistan brokered a 2-week pause between the US and Iran. Trump called it a big day for world peace. Iran agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Markets surged. For a brief moment, it looked like the worst was over. It wasn't, because while American and Iranian officials were shaking hands on a deal, Israeli jets were already over Beirut, launching the largest strikes on Lebanon since the war began. Over 250 people killed in a single day. Lebanon declared a national day of mourning, and Iran had one message for Washington. You cannot have a ceasefire with us while Israel burns Lebanon to the ground. Choose. Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz again within hours. The White House denied it. Maritime data showed only 3 ships had made it through since the deal was signed. 3 ships through the most important shipping lane on Earth. The fundamental problem is Israel, and Israel's problem has a name, Hezbollah. Netanyahu has made it clear in every statement since the ceasefire that the deal applies to Iran, not Lebanon, not Hezbollah. Israel will not stop until Hezbollah is destroyed and its northern settlements are safe. From Israel's perspective, this is completely logical. Hezbollah has 150,000 rockets pointed at northern Israel. The war gave Israel an opportunity to deal with it once and for all, and Netanyahu is not walking away. From Iran's perspective, it is a complete betrayal. Hezbollah is the centerpiece of Iran's entire regional strategy. Watching Israel dismantle it while Iran sits on the sidelines under a ceasefire is not something Mojtaba Khamenei can accept. And that brings us to Iran's new supreme leader. He took power after his father was killed on day 1 of the war. He is untested, under enormous pressure from hardliners. He cannot afford to look weak. He has already declared publicly that Iran won this war and will never surrender. That is not the language of a leader preparing to make a deal. Then there is the nuclear question, the issue that has derailed every negotiation between the US and Iran for the past 2 decades and shows absolutely no sign of being resolved now. Trump's position is simple. Iran must give up its nuclear enrichment program completely. His spokesperson called it a red line the president will not back away from under any circumstances. Iran's position is equally simple. It will never surrender its right to enrich uranium. Full stop. Iranian officials have said this publicly, privately, and in every negotiating session that has ever taken place. The nuclear program is not a bargaining chip. It is a guarantee that no foreign power can ever do to Iran what was done in 1953. These 2 positions cannot both be true at the same time. There is no creative diplomatic language that bridges a complete ban and an absolute right, which means the Islamabad talks that began on April 10th are sitting on top of a landmine that neither side knows how to defuse. Meanwhile, the Iranian street is not helping. Ordinary Iranians who have lived through 40 days of strikes, who have lost their supreme leader, who have watched their economy collapse under sanctions, who have seen this movie before, do not trust America. They do not believe this ceasefire means anything, and that public sentiment puts enormous pressure on Iranian negotiators not to give an inch. The global consequences of all this are already being felt. Oil tankers are sitting idle outside the Strait of Hormuz, waiting to see what happens. Shipping companies are refusing to send vessels through until there is genuine certainty the passage is safe. Oil prices are hovering dangerously high. Stock markets are nervous. South Korea alone has 26 tankers stranded and unable to move. The world economy cannot sustain a permanently closed Strait of Hormuz, but right now nobody has the power to force it open. And here is the darkest part of all of this. If this ceasefire collapses, and every single indicator right now suggests it is under severe strain, nobody goes back to where they were before. The damage already done is too great. The trust is completely gone. Both sides have already shown exactly what they are capable of and willing to do. A second round would not look like what we just saw. It would be worse. Far worse. Iran has nothing left to lose and a brand new supreme leader who needs to prove himself to the most hardline elements of the Islamic Republic. Israel has unfinished business in Lebanon and a prime minister who has staked his entire legacy on finishing it. And America has a president who called this a victory and cannot afford to watch it unravel on live television. 3 leaders. 3 completely incompatible goals. 1 fragile piece of paper holding it all together. This war is not over. And anyone telling you it is has not been paying attention.